friend is happy, so like, why don't you just be happy for them also?
Yeah, it's not only for relationships. It has to do with hobbies as well. Like I've lost a lot of friends that can't and sometimes don't understand or comprehend the fact that I do what I do as a hobby and it's a living, and like doing this show, doing like other things, and dude, it's not for, I'm not gonna waste my time. I don't want to say waste my time is really harsh, but I don't want to. I really want to do what I love to do, rather than sit around and drink and bullshit. I rather be out there doing what I love,
like being innovative.
Yeah,
right.
Like I don't want to. That's the thing I don't want to do with my friendships or anything. I don't want to waste anybody's time. That's why I always I'm very comprehensive when people leave my life, because it's like, you know what, maybe your time's up with me. You're gonna go be a friend to somebody else, or like even with girlfriends, like, hey, you know what, like, you're gonna go be happy with somebody else, like either you're hindering me or I'm hindering you, whatever that pedestal is. But thank you and goodbye, and people should comprehend that a little bit more than we should, man. And I'm not saying I'm not guilty of doing a lot of this stuff. I'm not saying I'm not banky, because at one time probably I was, and I get Banky's point of view, but I also get Holden's point of view. Like, dude, like, I need to go do this.
Yeah,
right.
Done with my.
That was good.
Don't apologize.
I really enjoyed the conversation that Alyssa and Holden had when they're on the swings, talking about what is the stereotypical way someone loses their virginity.
Yeah.
Like the standard way of just a male and female intercourse. That is the way Holden saw or viewed losing virginity was penetrating a female. So that's, I just thought that was just that whole conversation, that breakdown, and the way she kind of saw it as like the making love to someone regardless of sex. That was her version of losing her virginity, instead of the traditional man woman
penetration scenario.
Yeah.
And she has some great rebuttals. I would say arguably that's maybe the best scene, most iconic scene and conversation in that whole film.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
With them going back and forth, and him kind of, her just shutting him down, and she doesn't have any remorse. She's very just quick-witted, and it's a very intense, gets pretty intense, where she's talking about how they girls fist each other from time to time and shit. Like, whoa.
She's like, only for special occasions.
And he's like, whoa, doesn't that fucking hurt? And she's like, well, yeah, but our bodies are built to hold a little small human, like,
right.
It's not all the time, but when the special occasion hits. But her reenacting that is hilarious, dude.
It's just crazy how Holden's mentality is just
it's very stereotypical.
Like it's very antiquated, like so badly antiquated. Like it was like, really, like that? Is that what guys at that time were really thinking? Like I mean, to me, to us, I know it feels like, oh man, like. Like you say that nowadays, and you're like, oh, you're considered like such a fucking idiot.
Well, you know what? I think it was going back to Holden being pretty much a traditional guy and not really knowing much about anything, rather than his own little bubble.
Right.
And of course, he's going to say ignorant shit like that because he was naive. It's naivety. I don't think him or Banky were racist or homophobic or any of that. It was just not having that experience.
It's like, I was raised Catholic.
Fucking Kevin Smith.
I like how he I like how what's his name? the gay character in this movie. I forget his name. Hooper. How he breaks down Star Wars. He's like, "What do you think Star Wars is?"
He's like some white cracker farmer.
It's like get some white cracker farmer goes out and he's trying to destroy the Black Empire.
It's like Darth Vader, the blackest brother around.
The blackest brother in space. Or the galaxy, or whatever he says.
He's like, what do they do to us? They take off his helmet. It's a white cracker under it. It's just like, and it's funny how he pulls out the gun and he starts shooting Banky.
Oh yeah, they do the whole big setup, right? And then Ben Affleck he goes, "How the fuck are you able to get away with this? Shouldn't the cops be breaking down the door and like kicking your ass already?" And right there, yeah, like that's touching on social. That's some real shit.
Like shit that's going on right now.
He's like, nah.
How relatable that is.
What does he say? He's like, oh, I pay off the right people, or I got connections.
He said my publicist, like basically they approved that to happen, so it was okay for that to go down. And then I like Banky's reaction. He's like, oh, that's the wrong coast. Because they're in New York.
Yeah. But what would you give this movie?
I have to give it probably I'd probably give it a 9.
I'd say an 8.5. 8.5.
And give it a 9.
Nice.
It's super enjoyable. It's definitely, to me, I feel like Kevin Smith's writing and the content in this movie was ahead of its time in regards to like relationships and even the subtle hints of like Banksy being like possibly homophobic or closeted gay guy. If he was, I mean, kind of like you said, Wes, it's kind of up for debate or up for interpretation towards the end. But we'll never really know unless we talk to Kevin Smith. But like I said, I think this was just in terms of everything in this was ahead of its time and kind of it still relates now, especially. Yeah,
I do agree with you on that.
Yeah, his early works. It's very great, but this I feel like it just hits even harder home, you know. Mm-hmm. Everything in this, and I feel like the rewatch value is so good. Like you could put this on in the background anytime, you know, and just let it go and just go about your day. Very fun.
One Kevin Smith movie I have to rewatch is Clerks 2. I haven't watched that in a long time.
I love it. That's when
Rosario Dawson comes out.
Yeah.
I think that might have been my very first Kevin Smith movie in the theater that I got to see.
Oh, wow.
Right? Yeah, because what did he do? Like Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, and then is there anything after that? No, because Dogma was before that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it was Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, and then Clerks 2 in like 2006 or something. And yeah, I went to the Gaslamp Theater before it was the Chinese theater, and watched that. And I was a huge fan of it. I had went back and rented all of his stuff by then, and I was a huge fan. And that was an amazing experience. Kevin Smith, I think. What do you guys think about his later stuff? Any
Jersey Girl's pretty good.
Jersey Girl's good, but that's like 2008. That's a while ago now. I'm talking like
around that era.
No, like now, like Jay and Silent Bob reboot, Yoga Hosers, Red State, Tusk. Tusk is a great one.
Tusk is really good. Jay and Silent Bob reboot was really good too.
Yeah, it was good that they were able to capture everything that was great about Strike Back and bring so many cameos back into that. It's insane.
It was like on cameos on top of cameos on top of cameos.
So like super meta.
Yeah, incredibly meta to the point of
it's like, what the fuck? Really?
Yeah.
But that's Kevin Smith, so
And that's
he can
Kevin.
get away with it.
I like all the panel of clerks, and they're all black and white.
Yeah, that was funny.
Right.
That was awesome.
Oh, man.
By the way, the time sucks ass.
You never say an unkind word about the time.
God.
I think I enjoy more of his earlier work than I do his
Of course,
his work now.
Mm-hmm.
But I respect him as a filmmaker. I think he's one of those people that really, really, really loves filmmaking and writing, and the fact that like he really started on a really super low budget when he made Clerks.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Practically nothing.
And to see him make $1 million movies is just amazing, you know. It really shows how much passion and how much talent he has.
For,
you know?
Yeah, for being 50 years old and still relevant in the comic book world and being able to, you know, do that simultaneously. He has like a slew of podcasts. He has fucking his own strands of weed out, like crazy, like insane. It's just amazing how much of a household name he is now. And I also congratulate him on his newfound diet. You know, he's vegan. A couple years ago he almost passed away from a clogged. His main artery was clogged, I believe, and he had a heart attack, and he was able to, you know, get to the hospital in time to save his life. And you know, his daughter Harley Quinn Smith helped him regiment his new diet, and he's been sticking to it. And if you guys have seen him, he looks great. You know,
Can't even call him Lunchbox anymore.
I gotta call him Snack Pack. You know, so
and it's good. It's good to see Kevin. I'm surprised Kevin hasn't directed a comic book movie as with all this phrase.
Well, I mean, he's done several episodes for TV shows like Supergirl and stuff like that. So I feel like he's gravitating towards that. I'm sure that'll happen soon.
Because he's a fan. Like, he's really a fan.
Well, he wrote for Daredevil, I think.
Yeah.
Before, so yeah.
He wrote for DC too. He has his own Batman comic.
Yeah.
Graphic novel.
And I'm surprised that we didn't get that Superman movie we were supposed to get with. Was it Cage? Was Cage
Oh, yeah.
was already cast, right?
Yeah, Nick Cage.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
Right,
sure.
yeah.
I'm glad that didn't happen. I could do without the Brian
Glad
Singer
it
one,
didn't
dude.
happen.
That
Yeah.
pedophile Brian Singer.
Oh,
He is.
yeah, I know.
I wouldn't just say that for no reason. You guys want to do some Swan facts? I know James got to get out of here, kind of
Yeah, let's do it.
momentarily. All right, Swan facts. First up, Chasing Amy is very much a chunk of Kevin Smith's actual life on display, with Affleck standing in for Smith. So Kevin Smith himself, if you can believe this, I don't know if you guys already knew this, he had a 2-year relationship with Joey Lauren Adams, who plays Amy.
Really?
Yeah. And so it's this is like semi autobiographical.
Oh, nice.
Kind of
That's cool.
puts it into a new perspective, right?
Yeah.
Crazy. Moving on, the actual, while he was writing this, the studio initially wanted Smith to make the film set in high school with a PG-13 rating.
Yeah.
No.
That wouldn't work.
He considered it, and then he was like, nah. Also, it was the high school version would have been led by Ethan Suplee, I believe his name is, the guy who's turned buff, from Boy Meets World and American History X, and you guys know what I'm talking about. And then, although the film was written for the stars we saw, aka Jason Lee and Ben Affleck and everybody, The studio was actually pushing for bigger stars, including Drew Barrymore, David Schwimmer, and Jon Stewart. After Smith refused to budge, the studio met him halfway, allowing his indie cast to stay with a notably small budget. So originally, he was supposed to have $2 million budget, and with the cast that he wrote for staying,